We're like fire and rain.
You have yours pulled up?
You can drive me insane. Yes.
Okay.
There's harmony to every song I sing. Come on.
Sing it with me. Okay. Anyways, hi guys. It has been a very long time.
Oh my gosh.
Welcome back to our podcast. Welcome back to the Previously Anxious podcast. We're very excited to see you guys again. It has been all summer almost.
Yeah, like 2 months, I feel.
2 months. We took a very long break preparing for season 2, which will be coming out soon.
Yes.
But this episode is a little bit of a special episode. And if you follow us on Instagram, you would know that this is a special episode. This is not the start of season 2 because we have new things for that.
We have some new things cooking for season 2, so definitely stay tuned for that. But there has just been a lot of like online discourse and a lot of talking where like if we do not join in now, it's like speak now or forever hold your peace.
Speak now, forever hold your peace.
Yeah.
And at first we weren't going to speak on this because we just felt like there was just no reason. There's just a lot of... There's so much toxicity coming out of this discourse. And there's so much that we really could say. I mean, if you guys have been watching for a minute, you guys know I have a Substack. And I even wrote somewhat of an article touching on this.
Right.
But it was just so... I mean, if you know nasty. The Love Island discourse, you would know we were just not willing to jump in, especially because our opinions might not have been the world's favorite opinions.
Right. And also I just felt like it was so much nastiness going on. I did not want to speak and feel like I was going to contribute to all like
to the nastiness, to the bullying, to anything like that.
I didn't want to do that. So we definitely wanted to take space, wait till we saw like where our heads were. Right.
The bullying.
The bullying allegations.
The alleged bullying.
Where was the bullying?
And so it's just like a lot of stuff that could have been said, but we just decided not to. But the reunion actually, as you guys know, if you've been keeping up with this show, happened last week. And by the time we post this episode, it will be a week since the reunion.
Right. Yeah.
And we just felt like we had a lot to say. Like it just boiled up to a point. And this is really the speak now or forever hold your peace because I think after watching that reunion, we both like agreed, like we're done with this. Like this was actually...
Y'all have to understand, it will never get a second out of my life again.
It will never get a second. No. Peacock will count its days. Peacock is now on the list with American Express.
We'll get into that at a different time.
I can even... Hey, I'm not gonna go on a rant about it, but when God comes from the sky... He'll be landing on top of the producers of Peacock and on top of the people who are running American Express. They will die instantly. And with that being said, Peacock will never get another second out of us. But I feel like since they did get all of those hours and years off of our lives, we will just talk about this one thing.
Basically, what we're trying to say is Peacock will pay for their sins first.
Peacock will pay for their sins.
Yeah. First. Yeah.
There will be no like judgment like at the gates talking it through. It will be an instant death. And you're getting sent down instantly.
Yeah.
Because you already know what you're doing.
You bought your ticket.
And so, without further ado.
Oh my gosh, guys, let's get into it. It is just like, I don't know about you guys, but I watched this season 7, right?
Season 7, yeah.
With dread. Like, okay, in the beginning, it was very interesting. I feel like they brought a lot of like different types of people, very entertaining. When you think about the Aces, the Austins, Taylor kind of felt like right on brand for like the kind of guy they bring on the show. But there were a lot of other different characters.
Nick felt right on brand for the type of guy they bring.
Nick felt right on brand as well.
I was a little bit confused with Taylor, but I won't get my...
I mean, they had to bring a country guy. I feel like there's always like a stereotypical like...
It was interesting to me that they brought Taylor first instead of bringing like Jalen first and then Taylor being the...
They were going to bring Taylor because I felt like for some reason they felt like Taylor was like more for everyone. Jalen was for someone who really wants a country band. Taylor was for everyone.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I felt like they were, bringing some different type of people. We had like Shelly. She was representation for bi people. They haven't done that before unless like, okay, I've only watched this season of season 6.
We watched season 6 too, but yeah, I mean, season 7, I mean, she was down for the girls as well.
She was down for the girls. So I was like, at first, upon watching it, you think that you're going to get something very different.
Yeah.
And I guess in that sense, yes. Guys, there's no amount of drama or like how do I word this? Because like sometimes we're like, okay, drama can be funny, it could be kind of entertaining. It gets to a certain point where I'm just like, this is feeling, what's the word? Like not inhumane, but kind of like
low-key inhumane.
Low-key inhumane. It started to get a little like it went like beyond toxicity to me because I'm like, actually there's a whole new word for it. Toxic is like, okay, now we're watching like people in the villa do toxic things and like it's bad for them. When it started affecting people's lives outside of the villa, I'm like, now we're seeing real life repercussions in the real world. Real world. I feel like if you were a Hoodistan, the bullying that actually took place. Do you know what I mean?
I think that it just started snowballing into something more. And I think that there are a lot of people's opinions of like, hey, it's a reality show. It's not that serious. And with that being said, I feel like because there were a lot of people who were like, well, I grew up watching Jersey Shore and I grew up watching da-da-da. And we can't say that there wasn't toxicity in those things. I mean, we grew up watching Bad Girls Club. So of course there was toxicity, but I think what people are missing, I think that those shows in a way kind of existed in a vacuum. The people on Jersey Shore, maybe other people that lived on the Jersey Shore behaved like them, but it wasn't really like a representation of like the entire youth culture in the United States.
And therefore didn't have further influence.
And I feel like same with Bad Girls Club. Like the people watching Bad Girls Club, I mean, it was not an accurate representation of like all young women. Like it just was, it was like such a specific niche that it was like, that's why people tuned into it because they're like, oh, I'm about to go sit and watch girls fight. But I feel like this one, it was just so, even with the way that people, I think that it became bigger than the show when people started putting their own opinions in it. And you started realizing like, hey, this girl that I'm watching on the show that's like terrorizing everyone in the villa, there are also like 50,000 other women who agree with her and think that that behavior is okay. You know, and then same with maybe people who felt opposite, people who felt like, oh, this girl that's like being very fake to this one girl and it's not being as authentic and it's coming off as very PR trained. Hey, there's like 100,000 other women who like also feel like that's acceptable and that's okay.
Right. And so I think originally with Love Island, people would kind of like the argument was always based on who we felt like this woman or this man should choose, who they should end up with.
That was the original,
So then it went from that to where we're arguing like basic, like how to behave 101.
How to behave 101.
Strange.
And this is just like, we haven't even gotten to the reunion yet. This is just like our thoughts beforehand while watching the show.
Pre-reunion.
Because I feel like the thing that started stressing me and frustrating me, even though I was trying to keep my peace, I'm like, okay, this is a TV show. Like, let me not let it stress me that much. It's just the fact of, okay, so like, you can decide to enjoy whoever you want to on a show. But y'all are sitting on the internet trying to say that like cussing your boyfriends out in front of his friends and like sitting in the back room, like listening in on his conversations when he's like having a heart to heart with his friends is like an acceptable thing to do. And not only acceptable, you guys are also like cussing other people out in the process, saying like, you're also an effing liar if you're saying that you've never done this before. And like, if you're saying that this isn't okay. And then on top of that, bringing like feminists in play and saying that like, you're actually also a misogynist if you think that this behavior is not okay. As if like cussing someone out, like treating your man or whatever in that way is something that like women do in general. So if you're against that, then you're just like against women. And it was that's where like this season, I think even for both, we had so many, we would watch episodes and like call each other exactly like right after and just talk about it. Because it started snowballing into something else of like, this is actually like, yes, it might just be a TV show, but we're seeing the public perception is so skewed.
It's scary.
It's scary.
No, the things that people were arguing about was very jarring. I feel kind of like, no, guys, it's not okay to stalk people. It's not okay to call people out of their name, guy or girl. It's not okay to
low-key threaten them.
To like, threaten people, to act on to not be able to control your emotions. It's not okay. And that's not specific to women.
It's not specific.
I'm not going to let y'all put that on me.
No.
Y'all not going to put that on me.
No. And I think that it was also annoying how it was painted as like women who disagreed with it were painted as like holier than thou. Like, oh, you guys are just judging as if you've never done something. I'm not saying that I've never done anything. I'm not saying that. We were literally just having a conversation earlier today about how when I was like, in ninth grade, I went to a sleepover and literally tried to have a seance for the guy that I had a crush on and posted it on social media as if that was like the best thing in the world. Like, no, it's actually, that was really crazy behavior.
Yeah.
And I would never tell someone that they're being like anti-black or like anti-woman if they say like, oh, you were really crazy for like trying to like summon, like having lit candles around the table and trying to like make him fall in love.
Hands held in a circle.
In a circle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I would never say that.
Right.
So I'm saying that like it turned into something where people were trying to defend certain people's actions. I mean, it was all about themselves. And I think that that is where the conversation went. Like, obviously, if you guys haven't caught on to what we're talking, like we didn't agree with Huda in the house.
Yeah.
She wasn't our favorite person in the house, of course. But I think that the conversation turned into something more because it's like, y'all are not defending, it's under the guise that y'all are defending her, but you're really just defending yourself.
You're defending yourself. This was the season of projection. Season 7 of Love Island was a season.
Every single person that was a fan of anyone, because by the time we finished the season, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to be honest because we even started the season on 2 different accounts. Because
we did.
Let me tell y'all something. At the end of season 6, she had to pull my teeth to watch the last 5 episodes of that season. We got to the end of season 7. I didn't even watch the last 4 episodes of season 7. I didn't even know who won until you literally texted me and was like, such and such won.
Yeah.
I was done. When it comes to Love Island, it gets to a point for me.
It gets to a point.
Well, I have to unsubscribe. I have to stop watching it. And so I got to that point within the last like 4 episodes, and I was like, I'm not watching this anymore. And so with that being said, it just feels like, gosh, wait. Low-key, my brain just like went away because for some reason when I said last 5 episodes, I started thinking about Chris and Huda. It just took me on a whirlwind. No, like it literally like my whole mindset just like shifted to a different conversation.
That's so funny. But you were like, it got to a point.
It got to a point where it was too much for me. And I think that it was because like I said, at the end of this show, me and you, neither of us had favorites. We didn't have anybody that we were like, okay, I really like this person, da-da-da. But I feel like everyone else that was watching this show, y'all were not just watching it for like entertainment.
You were watching it to see yourself.
You were watching it to see yourself.
And then to see yourself win.
Win.
Without any change or without any growth.
Without any change, any accountability. And I think that it just brought such a broader conversation to like, not just trying to force these people to be accountable, but like it showed y'all don't hold yourselves.
Yeah.
Like some people are really like anti-accountability.
Yeah, no, and this brought it out because it's also like, okay, you just want to continue to be that way, even if it means you're ruining other people's lives. Your behavior is causing other people to have mental breakdowns. Yeah. And you're just like, yeah, but like she didn't have to apologize. So, and then don't even get me started because one thing y'all will not catch me doing, I will not argue with anybody under the age of 18.
No.
I think it's so strange that all of these like middle schoolers were coming out in the comments like, like y'all are just mad. Actually, no, because I'm about to get triggered, but even more so, I do want to just say this and like, I'm only going to say this once and then move past this because I feel like this was such a stupid argument that it shouldn't even like, we shouldn't be wasting our breath on it.
No.
The entire concept of people not liking Huda because they were jealous of what she looks like has to be eradicated. We have to.
That was like the top 10 dumbest arguments that have been brought out of Love Island. And there were a lot of dumb arguments and crazy talking points. But I think that had to be the craziest talking point.
That was so weird because like y'all and like, excuse me if I expose myself here. This was a cast of beautiful women.
This was a cast of beautiful women. This was a cast of baddies all around. I mean, the baddest half was on the floor.
The baddest half came to the floor for season 7.
The baddest half was on the floor.
Not a miss. They didn't miss with anybody.
And I think that was the thing that was so confusing there as well.
Yeah.
Because, and then if we really want to start talking about, I mean, if we want to talk about isms, and we want to start talking about actual like concepts, and y'all want to talk about like you're misogynist and you're anti-feminist and a lot of y'all's anti-black sentiments were showing. A lot of that was showing because you just assume
that they were jealous of her because of what she looked like. Have you seen Shelly? Have you seen Nicolandria?
Have you seen Shelly and Nicolandria? But this is not even a conversation about what people look like. Let's not even get into the conversation about what people look like. I think that it was just crazy that people, I'm sorry that you guys act a certain way or behave a certain way when you guys find somebody physically attractive.
Yes.
But not everyone just decides that they're going to be rude to somebody or they're going to like separate themselves from someone just because they think that person is like prettier than them. Some people have actual reasons as to why they don't like people.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with that person's physical appearance.
Like, come on.
And that was something that was actually also weird because it was like we are in real time watching someone actually do things to people. Now, whether or not you agree that the action was like bad enough to stop talking to this person, we are seeing this person actually do things to other people and that people are deciding that they're no longer wanting to be friends with that person.
Yeah.
And y'all are like, oh, it's just because she's pretty. As if like that conclusion came from thin air. That person just decided to stop effing with her just out of thin air.
Right.
I think that was another thing that was confusing because
super weird.
Even in like and like I said, we won't get into it, but even in like the Shelly, Huda, and Chris situation, you can say that like, oh, Shelly was being annoying and like she took it overboard and like it wasn't that serious. She was also dancing on Chris, so why can't Huda dance on Ace? If that's your opinion, then that's a perfectly fine and valid opinion.
Real.
But the thing that got me was that after that situation happened and Shelly said she didn't want to be friends with Huda anymore, people were like, oh, it's just because Huda's pretty. As if that whole incident didn't go down. Whether you think that Shelly's reasoning was smart, whether or not you would have stopped being friends with Huda over that, has nothing to do with the fact that there was a concrete action that came with a response.
Yeah.
And I think that is another thing that was bothering me. Everyone swore up and down like, y'all just hate this girl because she's pretty. Meanwhile, we can name 50 things that she did to each person in the house.
But that also like, seemingly has never been done on Love Island before. Actions are happening and you guys are just acting like someone fell out of a coconut tree.
Someone fell out of a coconut tree. We don't exist in a vacuum. We don't exist. Like, anyway.
We have to move on because we weren't even supposed to get that deep.
No, we weren't even supposed to talk about the past. We were supposed to literally start right on the reunion. But I think that like it was just too much because we didn't even get to talk about the other things. But we'll start into the interest of the reunion.
Yeah.
I think that first of all, the first thing I want to say about the reunion, Andy Cohen, such a great addition. I was ecstatic when I found out that he was going to host this reunion. Yeah. Because I felt like we were going to get some follow-up questions. And
that we did.
And that was never seen before.
No shade, no tea to Ariana because I feel like I like her. She's definitely a great host on the show. Yeah. But as far as like reunions, I don't really think that's like her forte.
I don't think it's her forte. I don't think that she's an interviewer, which is fine because that's not like the point of her being on the show. Right. And I also think that she has a little bit of a bias. And I think that it's true. It shows sometimes. And of course it's going to show. She just spent 3 months in Fiji with these people. Watching these people and stuff. So, hey, that's
an outsider is always just kind of a better option to
a better option. And I feel like regardless, I think that, you know, as we saw in, I don't know what red carpet he was on, but he was talking about people that he liked. And I think that, you can watch the show and say that you like people, but I feel like he was a good enough interviewer to even put that aside and even ask people that he enjoyed follow-up questions.
A decent question.
And, you know, and I think that that was needed because on this reunion, people just showed up and just thought that they were going to be able to give their PR answers, which the fans of Love Island hate PR answers. They hate a PR pitch. No,
because like I know what y'all think that we're about to do because we did just spend the past like 20 minutes semi talking about Huda, but I promise you she's not the only person that needs to pay for her sins.
No, she's not, because we're about to get into it. Because something, I feel like I'm just going to bring this up because this is the shortest conversation that we'll probably have about the reunion.
Okay.
Brian? Brian in his little speech about like, you know, I mean, I used to be a bartender. I used to work at bars. So I got a little over the top. And also, we can't even, personally, I don't even want to touch on this because I do think that she's suffering from something mentally. Yeah. And I think that that's something that like, I would love to hear a therapist talk about it. In fact, there has been a therapist speaking on the whole Love Island situation. I've been following her on YouTube, like watching her videos. She did post a video about the reunion and I can't wait to watch what she says. Period. Because she's a licensed therapist. Period. The way that Amaya just looked like she was in a trance, like she wasn't physically there, was interesting. But bringing it back to Brian, I found that like actually insane. And even I was so happy when he was like, you know, and I made the wrong decision. Or I miscalculated, whatever the heck he said. And Andy Cohen was like, so what was the miscalculation?
Exactly.
Like, you want to tell us specifically what it was that happened?
Guys, I just like, I don't care, and I don't want to sound like everybody else, but like they should not have won. And I guess like if we take it outside of who, I don't think anyone should have won, because there wasn't a single real couple on the stage in the bottom four. And that's how I feel. And
that might be a controversial statement.
I don't think it's controversial because look at how 3 of the couples have broken up already.
Come on now.
I don't think that that's crazy. And I also don't believe that the last couple, you can try to nail me to the cross for this. Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
And I think the last couple also fits into this category of all this fraudulent stuff happening. I think it's really insane that what we've got from the season and what we even saw with Brian. Almost every last person came on season 7 trying to ride the coattails of season 6.
Yes.
They came here because they saw how famous and how successful the people from season 6 were. That's why they joined the show, and not for any other reason.
There was for no other reason. Not to find love, not to be in relationships.
No.
And I'm sorry, I feel like the whole time that we were watching, like I said, like, we're not hateful people. We don't have hate in our hearts. And I feel like we were watching this season, like, while also thinking about, you know, having thoughts.
Yeah.
But,
True.
It wasn't just for entertainment. But at the same time, like, we weren't, like, after somebody said or did something on social media, I mean, on the show, we weren't, like, running to social media to be like, she's so effing stupid. Like, I can't believe that. We would just have, like, personal conversations.
Yeah.
And somebody that we talked about a lot was Amaya. And I think that, like, it wasn't, I feel like people liked her maybe because she actually cried when she was sad and yelled when she got angry, and people felt like that was like, oh, she's being so real, she's not hiding her emotions, even though I don't feel like that is a reason to vote for somebody to win something. But hey, I do understand not wanting to vote people who are being fake.
Right.
But at the same time, I just felt like there were just a lot of, it wasn't, like, this isn't like Emotion Island, this is Love Island.
This is Love Island.
At the end of the day, it's kind of like if someone is not in love, then they shouldn't win the show. And they also shouldn't have stayed on the show for that amount of time. I think that for the people who felt like she was so nice and sweet, like, that's good. I personally, I mean, like, I don't think that she's like a mean, evil person, but there was nothing about her personality that made me feel like I wanted to infantilize her or like baby her or talk about how nice she is. I actually don't know anything about her. I just know that she's not in control of her emotions. That's the only thing that I gathered from that. I didn't gather that, like, she's like the nicest person in the world. But just because you think someone is nice doesn't mean that they deserve a pity vote.
Yes.
And then especially when it comes to like a pity vote to win this show. Now, I do think that people were fed up and they felt like no one else wanted, like, they didn't want anyone else to win.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, I can at least vote for the girl that I think is nice.
Right.
But I just feel like the whole season, like, just throw the whole season away as far as like the premise for the show. It didn't, this season didn't do it.
Yeah, because I feel like maybe a lot of people didn't watch the previous seasons as well. But my whole thing is, Amaya had already amassed over 1 million followers. What else did she need? She didn't also need to win the $50,000.
Yeah.
We saw that like Rare Beauty was trying to reach out to her. I don't know if Fenty was trying to reach out to her. This girl was going to get deals whether she won the show or not.
Though, like, she shouldn't have won. But if you think about it in the context of this season, was there anyone else that should have won?
And so I understand where y'all are coming from.
I understand. Like, I think that it does make me mad that people won that were obviously not in love, to my knowledge, because a lot of people felt like they were. I feel like, bringing it back to Brian, it was very obvious that he coupled up with Amaya to win the money. I think that wasn't even a question.
If we're saving, like, no, and I understand this is problematic, but if we're talking about the integrity of Love Island in general, no, because I'm literally like, and when the red dot like comes on my forehead, when that red dot appears, like, I'm literally over here like shaking. Like, don't come for me. But I really think that one of the only couples to actually have came out of this show and maybe genuinely like each other, as controversial as it might have been formed, might have been Taylor and Clark.
Hey,
you can say a lot of things about Taylor, but you can't say he don't like Clark.
Yeah, and you can't say that Clark don't like Taylor.
And you can't say that Clark doesn't like Taylor.
Hey, we're not saying that they're going to get married.
I'm not saying that, but I think
they're in a relationship and they actually like each other.
Like, we saw the reunion. They're the only people who even literally said we are in an actual relationship. I think everybody else, I see where all the comments are coming from every last couple, whether you like them or not. It's a lot of other things going on. This was the one couple that maybe if he never did what he did to Nicolandria, maybe if there was never no beef in the beginning, then should have made it straight to the end,
Yeah.
or at least deserved to be in the final four. And once again,
Yeah.
I'm saying this because 3 of the couples in the final four have broken up. So
yeah.
period, point blank. Yeah, I can stand on what I'm saying.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like, mind you, I definitely had like these opinions like earlier on, but that was back in a time where like
These were so hot.
Oh my God,
These
things
were
were hot.
so-
If you
it was-
mentioned any of the people, Pepe, Iris, Brian, Amaya, you
Yeah.
were in the hot seat.
Pepe.
And I want to know, how do you guys feel who were riding for these people just for...
Wait, but before we get into that, we have to finish what we were talking about.
You're right.
Because it's like we brought it up and then just skimmed past it, but I just want the people to know.
Okay.
Something that was so crazy was first of all, the cheating allegations getting thrown over and Amaya sitting there acting like, first, she was trying to give like a performance, but it was like the Oscar goes to somebody else.
Yeah.
I don't know what was wrong with her on that stage. Like I said,
concerning.
she looked like, her eye was like twitching.
Yeah.
There was something happening.
There was something happening.
But her whole spiel of like, like people are just gonna say
fine.
anything, like we're cool. That was like a terrible performance. It was like actually painful to watch.
It was.
And I think another terrible performance that people believed up until this point, Brian being in love with Amaya was never... I'm like, I thought y'all voted for that couple simply because y'all liked Amaya. I can't believe some people are shocked right now that they're not together.
Ooh.
And I also think that it's very crazy. Just me personally, we were on the phone and I was actually cracking up at this, and not because it was funny, but because like this is hysterical.
Him calling out Zach.
Him getting on that stage and being like, but wait a minute, Zach, I just have to confront you about something because didn't you say that? That was
really
very
funny.
confusing.
Yeah.
It was actually funny. Like I was laughing because I was like, oh, he thinks he's doing his big one. As if you're not the other obvious man on the stage. There were obvious people on the stage who joined us for money, and you were one of them. Zach was one of them. And Zach said, I don't care. He said, I did it for the money and I don't care.
I mean, dare I say, at least Zach was a little bit more obvious, a little bit more blunt.
At least he was more, I think the thing that was crazy about that is that he didn't lie.
He never,
He was very much honest about that.
He was just doing what Zach does.
He was doing what he
feel
does.
like it's really concerning that a lot of people's argument at the time for Amaya, when they decided to put her with Brian, was that at least he stood up for her at the fire pit. Guys, the bar is in hell.
Yeah.
The bar is in hell. He saw his opportunity to say something, and also, dare I say, he might have even saw this redemption arc before America clocked it. Everybody is berating this girl, and yet she's also one of the people that had been voted up at the top.
Yeah.
He saw his chance to swoop in. It didn't work for Adriana.
Yeah.
It didn't work.
It didn't
so
work.
he didn't have anybody else to talk to.
Yeah.
So this was an obvious answer. Okay, Austin doesn't like her anymore. Zach just said he doesn't like her anymore.
Yeah.
This is my chance to get with someone who, because she was in distress, would get with anybody else.
Would get with anyone.
And obviously,
and I
we're
wouldn't
trying to
even
keep her
just
on the
say
show.
because she was in distress. If we really want to talk about her track record on the show, y'all, I think that it was really crazy that some people were defending the fact that the guys were saying that she was a little bit too clingy. I think that just hit home for some people.
Yeah.
And they just felt like that was a mean thing to say to her because they felt like it was mean when someone said it to them.
Yeah.
But I think that one thing that can't be ignored is that I think everyone is like rooting for her, but I think that people should be rooting for her to go to therapy.
Yeah. Same with Huda.
Same with Huda. I think the fact that and you can't tell me that this is a cultural thing because I don't believe that. Maybe the verb is that she uses.
Yeah.
Calling someone mi amor, maybe. But I think that her acting like she's going to ride off into the sunset and marry a man that she coupled up with minutes ago.
Yeah.
It wasn't even like she was like, they're 7 days in, a weekend, 10 days in, and she's like,
Yeah.
okay, this is it for real. I'm talking about you guys coupled up earlier that day and y'all are at the bonfire that night and she's like all over them and she's like, I think that you just really understand me and like we could really make it till forever. That was something that was questionable.
very
And I do think that it was genuinely coming from her heart. And I think that is where the problem
That's where the
lies.
problem
I
lies,
think
yeah.
that it was a problem. And I think that she should seek help for it.
And she should. And I think it was kind of sad. And I think that like two things can exist in the sense that like, yes, there was definitely something going on with her. And yes, like this wasn't the show for her. And also, yes, she should not have won.
And also, I
think,
mean,
like-
there could be so many things that
Yeah.
are true at the same time. I think that she is a genuine person. I think that she might be really kind. I also think that she clings to people too quickly and
Yeah.
tells them that she loves them too quickly.
Yeah.
Do I think it's a lie? No, I think she genuinely believes it.
Yeah.
Do I think she should have won this show? No.
Right.
Do I think she deserves hate on social media?
No.
Also no.
Not at all.
Wouldn't, like, all of these things can coexist.
I don't think that, and I also don't think that the guy should have possibly ganged up on her the way they did as well.
Should they have done that at that,
really
that
nasty
pit?
for
No, they
men
didn't
to be doing that. And also, even, the way Zach went about it.
But also
was
because
nasty.
they know how emotionally fragile she was.
Yeah.
But I do think that people were trying to act like they shouldn't have said anything to her.
Yeah.
I think that her emotional fragility made it hard for those men to feel like they can even tell her to her face that they were not interested in her.
Yeah.
And I think because a lot of people, it was not okay. A lot of people were getting on Zach when he told her, he was like, when you pulled me aside in the room at Casa and you kissed me, I actually didn't want to kiss. And she was like, what? What are you talking about? First of all, I didn't like how it was never okay for a man to tell her that he didn't like her.
Yeah.
It was always like, that's such a mean thing to say. Why would you say that? That was questionable to me too, because I'm like, well, he's just telling you his feelings and he just doesn't want to be with you.
Yeah.
But I in that conversation, do I think that was a weird way to bring that up? Yes, I do agree that was strange, that the way that Zach brought it up. Mm-hmm. But when he said that, was it a surprise to anyone? Because I felt in that moment watching it that it was so awkward, and I felt like he did not want to kiss her.
He didn't.
And it was very obvious. In fact, when he kissed her, I was thinking in my head, like, why did he just do that? Why didn't he just say no?
Then he's
type thing.
But we do have to move. We
have to move on.
There's actually so much more that we even decided to talk about in this video. For the people who are clicking this video specifically, because there is a connection we want to make with like Nicolandria and a couple of the things that have happened.
We're gonna
stay tuned. I promise y'all. Just make it past.
We're gonna get to it.
It's coming.
It's coming. We just have to.
The heart of this video is coming.
2 more things. I don't even know if we want to talk about like Jeremiah versus Ace. It is what it is. Personally, I mean, people called Ace a bully in the house. I don't know, y'all. I understand why people don't like him. I genuinely do. And people want to talk about cultural things. Maybe this is a cultural
Maybe so.
Maybe this is a cultural thing, because I feel like, and like, don't crucify me for this if you feel differently and you belong to the Black community, but I feel like if you're in the Black community, you have met several aces, and they don't just occur in short men. Like, I know people feel like that he has a Napoleon complex, which I do agree that I think that he does, but I think that his personality of feeling like he has to call everybody out at every second, I do think that that's something that commonly occurs in the Black community. So
that continues to occur.
And continues to occur. I didn't necessarily see him. Do I think he's a hater right now? I do. While we were watching the show, I didn't see it like that. I saw somebody who was immature, who can't just let, like, if you see that something fake is happening in front of you and you feel like someone in front of you is being fake, you don't have to be the person to call it out 24/7.
Yeah, and I think that he's, 22? I think he hasn't grown enough to know that, like, you have to just trust that things are going to play out the way that they're supposed to play out.
I feel like that was his downfall. I feel like he just felt like people were lying in the house and he just had to be the one to, like, convey the truth and run around the house telling everybody.
Right.
But I feel like that was his only wrong. That's what I feel.
He ain't said a single thing that hasn't come true.
He didn't say a single lie. And that was also where he got the push from, though, because he felt like, well, since I'm telling the truth, I should be able to say it.
Yeah.
But he hasn't learned yet that, like, a wise man closes his mouth. Wise men see the truth too, and they don't feel like they need to yell it from the rooftops.
Yeah, exactly.
Fools will tell on themselves.
They will. And basically Ace's biggest issue was that he just talked too much.
He talked too much, and it's the same way America was going to vote Jeremiah off anyways.
And so why did you have to be the person that was,
exactly. So that was that whole situation.
Also, shout out to Charlie. Can't no other man tell you what to do.
If you
didn't want to listen to Ace, you just simply did not have to listen.
You didn't have to.
He wasn't holding those people at gunpoint.
No, he wasn't.
He did not threaten violence.
Actually, and there were plenty of men that entered the house that can probably beat him in a fight. So I think that it was also interesting that you just felt like you had to listen to this man.
Yeah, he also wasn't really aggressive until he had that argument with Austin as well. But I'm gonna leave that alone.
Yeah.
A lot of y'all saw something that was a part of your own, like, bias, but I'm gonna leave that alone.
And that's that. What else?
Where are we?
Another thing, since we're already talking about Ace.
Okay.
Were Ace and Shelly in a relationship before entering the show? Was this a conspiracy? I honestly don't know.
Guys, me neither. I feel like
I can't speak on it. Hey, I'm not mad at the people who feel like it was. When we were watching the show, I did feel like it was weird when they walked in and they knew each other, but I wasn't thinking like, oh, they correlated this, because I feel like surely the producers weren't in on this as well, and like surely they would have caught that.
I think honestly. Now, here's the one thing I'll say. Like, maybe I'm like literally my mouth keeps hitting this. Here's the one thing that I say, that it's like, I understand people's concerns, because I do kind of feel like Shelly really was only interested in Ace.
Yeah.
I don't think she was genuinely interested in anybody else. Maybe Chris. And Chris came at the end. I don't think there was a single person that she talked to besides Ace and Chris that she was genuinely pursuing. And in that sense, because she had already talked to Ace outside of the villa, one could say that that determination, so to speak, kind of fueled the allegations even more of the fact that like they did come here to win, because they were both saying kind of like, as you saw in the reunion, that like, oh, we set this whole thing up and da-da-da. And like, how did it help us? Yeah. But also like, looking at Shelly and Ace, I don't think they needed that $50,000.
I mean, look at one thing that gets me is for the people who felt like they co-conspirated it. And like I said, I'm not disagreeing with y'all, because even at that reunion, I was like, there is a big possibility that could have happened. I'm not sure why the producers would have felt like that would have been a good call, but it definitely could have happened. But I feel like, did they do a good job at doing it? No. So I don't care. I feel like if they would have won and people had, then I would have been like, this is a full conspiracy. But I feel like if they really were trying to fool America, they didn't do a good job at it. I mean, it was from the start, their relationship was like rocky, and it wasn't giving like redemption arc. It was giving, y'all don't need to be in a relationship.
Exactly, because he kept turning her down at every...
I mean, he was like choosing other women over her every 2 seconds.
So I don't think that was it. And also, like, I don't know. I only said they didn't need the $50,000 because I do feel like there were other people on this show where financial motivation was the goal, and then there were some people where clout specifically was the goal. Yeah. So I feel like with Shelly and Ace, they both kind of had, especially Ace, a pretty strong following. Yeah. So I feel like maybe, I don't know, because I feel like the whole point of getting to the end of the show is really for the $50,000, because you don't have to make it to the end of the show, as everyone watched in season 6. Yeah. They even all got a spinoff, even some people like Connor who left early. Yeah. You don't have to make it to the end of the show for people to still like you. Yeah. Right? So
it's kind of like when you want clout, just showing your face on the show is enough.
Just being a part of the cast is enough. Yeah. Look at Jalen. You know, he gained things and he was on the show for like 2 days. So I feel like when we talk about them making it to the end, you're doing that for $50,000. And I don't know, to me, they did not seem financially motivated. No. So if it was for clout, okay, now we're looking at it in the sense of like, okay, they wanted clout. I don't think they did a good job on that either, because like I said, the relationship
feel like
was...
for the people who are upset about it, this is just to like ease y'all's worries. Yeah. Like, I just don't feel like you should be upset because they didn't get out from it maybe what they would have set out for it. Like, I just don't feel, if that was the case, then their plan was like really bad, and they took an L in their plan.
They took an L,
because they didn't win, and also people really disliked them and their relationship. So, hey,
that's like wiping my hands from the whole Shelly and Ace thing.
That's
like,
that.
I don't know.
Last thing that we were going to talk about the reunion before we get into a bigger plot of this. Huda.
Oh, girl. Girl, I can't.
Huda, there are only 2 things about the reunion that I wanted to speak on when it came to her. And that is... Okay, so first of all, the highlight reel of her torturing everybody in the house. That was something that I found very interesting, because they were playing it back for her. And as Andy pointed out, after the video ended and after we saw all the scenes of her doing things to other people... she was like cracking up the entire time. And Andy's like, oh, I wanted to ask you how you felt about that now, but I see that you find it hysterical. And she responds and she's like, oh, you know, because like I've just grown so much and I'm just like past that. That was one thing. I mean, we were watching the reunion together. We literally had to pause it because I was like, you know, from the FaceTime that we were on, I was like, wait a minute, because that literally just pissed me off in a way that didn't make sense. And I thought that I was over it. Like I said, and I will keep saying, Huda was not our favorite person on the show, but we were by no means on social media like telling people that they should hate her and stuff like that. It was nothing like that. But I think that this was something that pushed me to the edge, in the sense of I still didn't say anything about her on social media because I don't believe in bullying people. But that like literally made my eye twitch, because they're showing you a video of things that you did to other people, and your response is like, I've just gotten over that. Babes, it's not your thing to get over.
It's not your thing to get over.
It's like other people were going through that. You were making other people's days miserable. And at the end, like you're laughing. You're like, I've just grown so much that I can just laugh and put this behind me. It's not your thing to put behind. It's like someone like literally since we want to talk about bullies,
Yeah.
somebody like bullying someone from like middle school all the way up until the end of high school, and then when they're confronted about it or asked about it, like at an older age, they're like, I've just put that behind me.
When you negatively impact someone's life, it's not really your thing.
It's
to get
not
over.
your thing to like
not
say
your
like,
thing
wow,
to
like
quote
that.
unquote heal from. What are you
to
healing from?
What are you healing from?
Yeah.
What are you healing
Torturing
from?
people?
Exactly. I feel like the appropriate response to that part, like if I was sitting there and I was watching a whole video of me being terrible, as soon as that ended, before the interview, before Andy and Ariana even had a chance to ask me a question, I would have said, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart to everyone on this stage, I'm so sorry for what displayed. Like, even though I feel like I have grown, like that was unacceptable in every way. And I'm just so sorry if I made y'all summer, like if I impacted y'all summer in a negative way.
Yeah.
And then we could have started with the questions.
100%. But I feel like, guys, when it comes to Huda, I just can't. I think it's a lost cause. I think that she needs to go. I think she needs to heal. The people who have found themselves in her, I think that you need to actually heal as well. I feel like
I think they need help like stat.
No,
Because it's
like
one
yesterday.
thing for like negative things to impact you personally. Like when people have negative perceptions of themselves and they're like mean to themselves. But I think that the thing that bothers me most about Huda and the people who support her is the fact that they feel like the things that they're going through is like an excuse to impact other people's lives.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? If you're, if you're going through something and you're depressed and you're starving yourself, then that's something you're doing to yourself. And you still need to go seek some help. But I have more empathy for those people because I'm like, you're harming yourself over the trauma that you've been through. You need to get some help. I have a hard time.
Come on.
I have a hard time feeling empathy for people who feel like, well, because I'm going through something, that's why I did X, Y, and Z. And they think that
And I'm
that
gonna
is like,
continue.
and I'm going to continue. And also, you can't say anything to me because I've been through da da da. Don't you know why I'm doing this? How dare you even say something to me? And it's like, people can only understand you so much until you have shown people you actually don't ever want to change, and you find it offensive when people say that you should change.
Also, like, people can understand you to the T. It doesn't negate accountability.
Accountability.
Yeah.
That's another thing, because people are acting like, don't you understand what I've been through? Yes, I just heard what you said.
Right.
Yes, I do understand that you were traumatized.
Right. And after all that, let's hold you accountable
Let's
for
hold
what you're
you
doing to other people.
accountable.
That's how trauma continues.
That's
the
how
cycle
it
of trauma continues, because you guys think that just because someone has experienced something, they can then push that thing onto someone else.
Because let's talk about it, because y'all have so much empathy and sympathy in the world for her, but when it comes to
Anybody else, quite literally.
your father, because let's talk about that. Let's connect the dots, because a lot of men, let's just say, especially when it comes to people's parents, because people, this is like the time. I know a lot of people are like, where are you going with this? Stay with me. Stay with me. It connects. It connects.
Wake them up.
A lot of y'all are like pro cutting off entire family members for their trauma responses. Your parent was emotionally abusing you because of their trauma response to whatever trauma happened to them. And now it's like, this person won't take accountability for what they did to me. F them. I'm never going to speak to them again. Just because they were traumatized doesn't mean they can treat their child like this. Let's bring it back and connect it to this woman. She had a traumatized childhood. Now she is grown up and she's putting other people through hell because of what she went through. And now all of a sudden it's like, we should feel for her. She's still so da-da-da. She's still so young. A lot of people don't know about arrested development, because just because she's young, literally doesn't mean anything, because the parent that's doing that to you is also frozen.
Yeah, they're frozen at that time that they
experienced that. So that's another reason they lack emotional intelligence, because because the 50-year-old adult that did something to you, I'm not talking about physical assault. So let's stop that there. I'm talking about traumatic experiences, as in your parent was emotionally unintelligent and they said and did things like manipulate you or say certain things or emotionally damage you in that way. They're arrested development. They are mentally 16. They are mentally 25.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing. Yeah. And I feel like that's something that I don't get. It's like the sympathy that's coming for her that is not awarded to other people. And like other people have said, I do agree with this statement, is definitely not awarded to men, even men that are the same age as her. Because if she was in that house and she was a man doing all those things that she did,
it would have burned her.
She would have been kicked out the house. First of all, the producers wouldn't have let her stay on that show. But if they did, she would have been burnt.
Yeah.
He would have been burnt at the stake. He would not be able to show his face.
No, he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't. And I think if you don't agree with that, honestly, you could just argue with the wall, because that isn't like that. You can't even argue with that.
You
honestly.
can't argue with that.
It is a fact. It is a fact.
Y'all would be like, I'm so scared of him. If he was treating a woman like she was treating Jeremiah, and was like, why did you tell other people what we're arguing about?
Him a textbook abuser. Literally. Because that was literally abuse.
It was abuse. And guess what? If he got on a podcast after the show and was like, actually, like, my parents assaulted me when I was younger, y'all would be like, okay.
But honestly, y'all, I feel like, I'm sorry, I keep being the abrupt person to like change, because there's something
I know,
specifically
like,
that I came on to talk about. And no, not only are we like 40 something.
She said, I'm here for one thing.
I'm here for one thing and one thing only. And I hate that I'm speaking at the end.
Yeah.
Y'all, there is something that had my eye twitching at that reunion, and honestly twitching at every TikTok that's been about this, at every video, at every reel, whatever that I've seen so far. It is astonishing to me, the people who support Nick and Nicolandria, specifically because he is a white man and she is a dark-skinned Black woman.
Wait, Lindsay. Let me just say one more thing.
Don't leave it alone. You gotta leave it alone.
I'm sorry, this is the last thing. It's gonna take 2 seconds. The racism conversation between and
oh my God.
This is 2 seconds. This is just one statement that got me. Nicolandria talking to Huda and being like, why didn't you stand up for me? And Huda being like, I was also receiving racist comments. That was something that got me, because Nicolandria and Shelly were directly receiving racist comments because of Huda.
Yeah.
Huda was not receiving racist comments because of Nicolandria and Shelly. So for the people who were saying like Nicolandria and Shelly didn't stand up for Huda when she was receiving racism, they weren't the cause.
They weren't perpetuating the narrative.
They weren't perpetuating the narrative, and they weren't the cause of her receiving racist comments.
100%.
Huda was directly responsible, whether she wanted to admit it or not, because it was her fan base.
Yeah.
So she has that responsibility because it's her fan base.
Yeah.
That we're saying racist remarks to Shelly and Nicolandria. That's all I wanted to say. That statement right there also pissed me off, because I'm like, the cognitive dissonance, you're actually you're not making any sense. Why would Nicolandria post? She can if she wants to.
It wasn't really relevant to her though.
Like Huda, there was no you can if you want to.
Yeah.
You had to do that.
Because it's your fans.
Because it's your fans.
On your, for you.
For you. In defense of you. They're saying this in defense of you.
Yeah. No, that was nasty work.
That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, y'all. Like, I feel like
back to what you were saying, Nicolandria.
No, because like, get your stones out, get ready to throw them. I feel like a lot of people, myself included, but before when they sent Nick and Nicolandria home, and they had that whole little production thing where they tried to put them together, it was very produced.
And
they had that
we
dinner
were a
table
fan of that when it was happening.
I was literally jumping up down,
we were like, this is quality tea.
I was literally giggling. I'm like, okay, this is the greatest thing ever. In my eyes, I felt like up until that point of the show, Nicolandria had been done severely dirty. So I was like, Nick seems like a really good guy.
We were like, Nick is so funny.
He was so funny. He was one of my favorite guys. She was one of my favorite girls at the moment of the show. So in that sense, I was like, well, if they get together and they end up liking each other, wow, that would be amazing. So we watched the show. Obviously, they try it. They decide that they have no physical connection for each other. Also, this is something that she was the pioneer of saying. She felt like, he's Nicky Poo. He even asked, please don't call me Nicky Poo, because I feel like you're not, you're not he felt like she wasn't taking him seriously. She proceeded to continue to call him that. I digress. So they basically said that they had nothing for each other. It wasn't until Sierra was kicked out of the villa, turns out not screaming and crying, but just regular, getting sent back home, that Nick has decided to pursue Nicolandria again. Did he really decide that, or was production in people's ear telling them that this is kind of your best way to the top? At that point, we all know that they were scrambling to make a good show, because Nick and Sierra were the strongest couple.
Everything was falling apart at that point. Everything was falling apart.
They had the highest chance of winning. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying what Sierra said was absolutely incorrect. I do not stand by racist comments. She deserved to be kicked out of the villa.
Yes.
That's just that. Now, there was some rumors going around. There was a video. There was something that everybody saw about some type of racist comment that Nick said about the exact same group of people. That came and it went. I'm going to leave that alone, but I do find that interesting.
That was very interesting.
He was not held to the same standard, especially because it was about the same group of people that she had insulted.
Right.
So
A group of people, might I add, that people insult constantly and no repercussions are there.
And no one takes it seriously.
No one takes it seriously.
That
was another thing that was.
So I was like, okay, so that's why even though I liked Sierra in the beginning, when everybody was like, it's her time to go, she couldn't even hide by ignorance because I was like, you know what? That's true. Asian hate is definitely like overlooked, at least in the US. I feel like people downplay it. I feel like people act like it's a joke. It's funny. It's not that serious. Or like, you know, as we saw a lot of people say, I didn't know that word was offensive. Have you ever cracked open a book?
No, like that was something that was so crazy to me because I was like, that word specifically is so like
derogative.
It's giving hard R. I feel like if someone says that, like you also have like a noose in your backyard, like ready to no, like literally because we literally talked about this, and maybe it's just because we're from the South.
Yeah.
But
True.
that word specifically to me was like you are like you might look like something else, but you are a reincarnated old white man from the 30s. Because I'm like, who the hell else says
that word? No,
like,
facts.
Who
facts.
in the right? Like, it's not even a word that's like commonly in the
it's not common.
It's like you looked up like what is something rude I can say about this group of people.
Yes.
It was like,
and you found it there,
and you were like, oh my gosh, there it is.
And then also it was under the worst, most offensive word you could say about this group of people.
This group of people.
And you pulled that one out, and you were like, damn.
I'm like, you actually watch minstrel shows for like fun in your bedroom. If you're walking around, genuinely.
That's a crazy word, y'all. Be so
You might be George Washington reincarnated. That is what it was giving. But
yeah.
I digress. Sorry.
Yeah, your ancestor. You know what? I'm not even going to get into that. It's a very racist word.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that a lot of people didn't know the word and didn't know that it was racist it's alarming. And I think it also goes to prove a lot of people's point who was saying that hate against Asians is swept in the rug in the U.S. We're only talking about in the U.S. That's all I can speak on right now. I feel like that everything that was being said was like chef's kiss. It was aligning in their point because it was true. I was like, y'all are only proving the fact that like being ignorant doesn't stop the fact that like
that something is hurtful.
You know what I mean? Like,
now.
I was like, I was very happy to see them standing up for themselves because I feel like, I got to tell people to talk their shit.
Yeah.
If you're a person of color and like things are happening to you, I'm going to be like, you need to stand up for yourself every single time.
Every time.
But that's besides the point. Like I said, I feel like Nick should have been held to that same standard. He should have been accountable. Let's talk about Mr. Nick. Let's talk about Mr. PR. Mr. Every time he is asked something, he finds a way to like slither out of it without a truthful answer inside. I'm sorry, but I just feel
if we
like
want to talk about PR, let's talk about Mr. PR.
We're talking about Mr. PR here, y'all.
And this is coming from two girls that were fans of Nick.
I was a big fan
Nick
of
was
Nick.
like our favorite person in the villa.
Huge
Nick
fan.
was our favorite person in the villa for like a really long time.
Huge fan.
And we were before the scandal happened and the news came out, we were very pro Nick and Sierra. We were like, okay, so
pro Nick and Sierra, and even had a little bit of pro Nick and Nicolandria. It wasn't
and when him and Sierra broke up, hey, we weren't even just like that needs to be a sealed deal. We were like, okay, well, Nick and Nicolandria, that could work.
It's only because it started to feel extremely forced, which this is not like we did not pull this out of thin air. It was very obvious. We have never seen production do what they've done for Nick and Nicolandria. And guess what? They only started doing it because you guys were at home on Twitter, typing off Nicolandria. And also, like, remember at the time, everybody was talking about it in a fantasy form. Everybody was
because
like,
it hadn't happened yet. Before
happened,
production did that part, people were still, like, people were rooting for them when Nicolandria was still with Taylor and Nick was with
But it was
Sierra.
all about the delusion, you know, and it's sometimes it's fun to participate in, like, delusion and stuff. And it was interesting to see so many people across the globe, I guess, having the same delusions. And so, like, I think it was all fun and games. But when they tried it and it didn't work, that's when I started to feel like, okay, now we're turning into something that's getting a little scary.
Yeah.
I agreed at the time that I wanted Nicolandria to like Nick. It was clear as day she didn't, right?
Yeah.
So when that didn't happen, me being a sane person, I had to just let go of the narrative. I was like, okay, also I'm getting a little too parasocial.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is a real person who has her own thoughts and he can make his own choices.
I was like, it was fun for a moment. I really wanted them to get together, but then when we actually saw them together on the screen, I was like, it's not giving chemistry.
It wasn't giving chemistry and it was giving friends.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so to get into what I'm really trying to say, y'all have to believe me. You have to believe me.
Yeah.
I did not want Nicolandria to be with Nick because she was black and he was white.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about being fans of two people getting in a relationship and where that fandom is coming from. And I fear from what we've been seeing on the internet, that the origin of the love for this couple is literally stemming from the fact that a dark-skinned woman is being adored. So we're seeing by a
white man.
And for the people who have taken offense to putting adored in air quotes, we might be talking about you, because when you quite literally, you might be one of the people that we're talking about and that we're addressing, because when you say that you don't think that Nicolandria is real, the first thing that their fandom hits you with is, why? Because you don't think a white man would like a black woman?
And so this is like, now we're about to get into something a lot more serious and a lot more like nuanced. So I know like there are a lot of different ways that people might go about listening to this conversation, but I'm just saying maybe listen with grace because we're going somewhere.
Yeah.
So I feel like heavy on what you just said. Yes, we grew up somewhere where, it was conservatives. Like we saw the flags, like we saw, like, you know what I mean? There was, it's a lot of that. It's not that we are unfamiliar with racism in experience or as a concept.
Yeah.
However, I think the mere shock that a white person can like a black woman is just really absurd to me.
And I think not even just like her, that a white man could treat a black woman well. The people who are turning this into a white man, black woman love story, I think that you had to have had certain experiences that have made you feel as though white men don't find black women attractive, especially dark-skinned black women, which is understandable. There are people out there in the world. I mean, like we said, racism exists. And I'm not saying that experience has not happened before, but I feel like the thing that's questionable to me, I don't think that they're just like, I think that it's a mix of experience, but I think for some people, not just experience, I think it's also like indoctrination of like social media values. Like, I don't even know how to explain it, but I think that some of you guys, for the ones who are not around white people, like for example, like Alandria said that she had never dated a white guy because she didn't grow up around white people. She grew up in Alabama in a predominantly black area. So it made sense that she was questionable of like, would a white man find her attractive? But I think that very question too, I know that, like we said, it's nuanced. Obviously, like that question can arise from black people's entire past with white people in the United States. But I just can't help but feel like it's also from like social media pushing this narrative that non-black men are not attracted to black women.
And I'm going to just say this. I feel like for any white man that is dating a black woman and a little bit of vice versa, you are not doing anything like liberating. You're not doing anything deserving of an award. You're not doing anything that is progressive. We are all just human beings, y'all. And I'm saying this, I'm being so for real. Y'all giving this man his flowers for dating this woman and finding her attractive is weird as hell. It is so weird because in doing so, you're creating this idea that she wasn't attractive in the first place. It's like he picked her up from the ground. No, because I'm quoting what some people are saying. He has picked her up from the ground. He has lifted her up. He is showing her things that she would have never done before. He's taking her places. They're traveling on the brand trip.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like if people are invited to go somewhere for a brand trip, is he giving that to her? And also like, I feel like it's not really like this white man's place to give her things that like she deserves in her life as an individual.
Yeah.
Like, if we want to say she is from like a southern small part of Alabama and she hasn't seen the world. Like Jalen, you see how no one attached like Jalen's newfound discovery in life to any woman? Do you see that no one was saying like, oh, Jalen, we want you to travel, but we only want you to do it if like you could go on these cruises, but it has to be with this white woman who's going to show you the world.
Yeah.
Because if it had been that way, y'all would have tore him up, by the way. But I feel like it's like no one was attaching like Jalen's transformation in life they weren't associating it with another person. I think that it's weird that y'all in the same breath can say that you like Olandria and that you want more for her, but the more is always attached to Nick. No one speaks on her outside of the context of Nick. I think that it's weird that she got that NYX ad. She's a girl who wears makeup. He had never worn makeup before. Why did he have to even be there? Ace is not there in all of Shelly's ads. who else was on this show? Iris and Pepe not
Yeah.
doing ads together. And I know y'all like, oh, because they're not as impactful. Y'all shut up. If you like Nick and Olandria, you can like them separately, and they should be making their money separately, because guess what?
But
If
it's
they
because
break up,
people don't like Nick and like. I know people will literally write in the comments and say like, I loved Nicolandria before. They might, but I feel like at this point in stage right now, people like them as a concept, and the
like them as a
concept
concept.
is a dark skinned woman being loved
with-
by a white man.
Oh my gosh,
And I
it's
think
so
that
frustrating.
is the concept. Like,
y'all, it's actually not fair for her what y'all are doing to her.
I feel like it's not fair, and I feel like we said earlier, it's really speaking to y'all's own internalized biases, because while y'all think y'all are like uplifting this woman, it's very obvious that you guys are treating this as if it's revolutionary, because you have never imagined that a dark-skinned woman would be loved by a black man. I'm not, excuse me, by a white man. And I think that is like another thing that's questionable, because it's like, the same way that y'all are like praising her, it's making me question if y'all ever found her desirable in the first place.
That's a really great question. I think that's a really great question, because that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I was like, at first I thought everybody was just happy because someone liked Nicolandria in the villa.
Yeah.
But then I was like, wait a minute, why? Why do I keep seeing y'all referencing not only like their race, but her skin complexion? As if her being dark made her the least desirable on the island. So if somebody found her attractive, it's like, yes, we got one.
Yeah, and in the inverse, as if like her being dark. What am I trying to say? The inverse in the sense of like she is pretty despite her dark skin. When
Yes.
in reality, like her dark skin plays an integral role in her beauty.
In her attractiveness.
And I think that's another thing. It's like they're saying like, wow, Nick loves her even though like she's a dark skin. It's like you guys aren't saying that specifically, but that is where like
that's what y'all sound like.
that's what
just
y'all sound like. Y'all, that's what y'all sound like. And I just can't help but feel like fans of Nicolandria are also the same black women that get into non-black men's comments and be like, do you like black girls? Asking for a friend or asking for myself.
When
know
I
what I'm
see that,
saying?
it does something to me. I cringe.
And I'm saying like, I can't help but feel that y'all are those same people.
Well, I think you have to be, because I'm just like, you have to stand up.
You have to.
You have to stand up. Like, I feel like this is not to hate on these two people, but I'm telling y'all, I'm like, since when did it become about this? I couldn't help but feel if I was on a show and I came out and I saw everybody, y'all, I would be so offended if y'all did that to me. I would be so offended.
I would actually be so livid if I left out the house with a man and people are like, girl, like, how did you fool him? Like, you better hang on to that one. Simply because of, not because like, I would understand it if he like literally moved the world for me. I would also be feeling like, yeah, I'm gonna hang on to him because like, whoa, he is like above and beyond as a man. They are literally just saying that because he's white.
Also, I do think it's really important to say this, not to keep stopping with like the little disclaimers or whatever, but I'm sure that like some of you, if you're insane, might have the thought of like, oh, like there are two like brown skinned girls like sitting on the couch, you know what I mean? And you're probably like, you know, trying to invalidate our experience of being black women or being able to see this from a perspective that is possibly needed to have this conversation. But I feel like this is not really coming from the sense of saying that, oh, it's so easy to be a black girl and necessarily like have other people like you. I'm just saying, maybe I guess the question I'm posing is have you tried it, or like have you really gone out in the world and like pushed past your own biases on thinking that, because I think the world might tell black women like you're the least liked, right? But I'm saying when you step outside like your four walls, y'all, it's just not true.
Yeah.
I just don't believe it to be true.
I think that like we were saying earlier, it's so hard to have this conversation because like we're not getting like super deep into it, but again, like we're like throwing all of these like
Random
prefaces like out into the wild in the sense of like we would never want to say anything to disrespect darker skinned black women and invalidate that experience. And I think the only reason why we even feel, or like I would say, speaking from my experience, why I even feel the need to have this conversation is because from having darker skinned friends, from even like our older sister is darker skinned, like she would be considered a dark skinned black woman. I think that like I have seen dark-skinned Black women be loved and adored by non-Black men.
I think
I
that's
have
what we're
seen
trying
that
to
in my
say.
lifetime and time again.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, and I've also seen the inverse. I've seen dark-skinned Black women being treated negatively because of their skin tone. I'm not saying that doesn't exist, but I'm saying from these conversations, I don't think that they're stemming from those women who have had those experiences. I'm just seeing a lot of people in the comments who like, I guess, really want to be in a relationship with a white man, but like don't know where to start or something, or feel like a white man would never like them, or it feels like it's coming from a group of people who have grown up in places where there are not that many white people.
Like Wyoming or something.
No, I mean, there's nothing but white people in Wyoming. I'm saying, like, say you grew up like Nicolandria in Alabama, or you grew up in Atlanta, but in one of the areas where there's no white people. And I feel like I'm seeing people have these conversations as if like finding a white man that would like a Black woman is like finding a unicorn, when in reality, I just feel like that's just not true.
And so the issue to further prove the point that we're trying to say, so then you guys act like it's finding a unicorn, and then that brings me into the final thing I want to talk about, which is Jana and Kenny. So then we see a couple like Jana and Kenny get together. No one was choosing Jana. She was kind of, I guess, easy to say like the Amaya of season 6, because she was having like a similar trajectory in the sense that like she almost got sent home because she had not found her partner yet.
Yeah.
No one had partnered up with Jana, and people felt like, hey, not to say it was only about race, but I'm sure there were some comments that were saying like she's a darker Black-skinned woman that deserved to be loved. This is true. And then here comes Kenny, Dominican. So when Kenny started liking Jana and cried over Jana, the world just felt like he broke the fourth wall. And no matter what happened from that point, I think people were like, okay, I think we can kind of trust this guy, because he was showing like vulnerability and like, hey, maybe not you, but I kind of did believe for a second. I was like, oh, wow. Oh, my God. He just cried over her. This is really good for her. Mind you, I was not thinking about race. This is just a guy who liked her. And that was that. I was like, great. She deserves a guy who likes her, period, no matter what he looks like. Kenny and Jana get together, and in a way, not really her, but he becomes like the poster child for almost doing a thing that was, what's it called? Like, not community service, but like,
yeah, it was like viewed as like
he's done
as like self-sacrifice,
like a self-sacrificing thing, and that this guy is doing someone, I don't know who, a favor for dating someone who most people deem non-desirable. Here's my thing: if we keep perpetuating, I'm just saying this as Black women in general. If you keep perpetuating a specific narrative, it becomes true because you're saying it's true.
Because you're saying it's true.
Because
not because
saying
it's like
true.
biologically true.
This becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like, me personally, I don't feel like we were talking about earlier. People want to put Black women in a category of like the least desirable. From so many Black women's perspectives and experiences, that's just not the case. And I think that like I said, I feel like some of you are acting over on your own internalized biases that like social media has like put inside of you. And thinking that like Black women are the least desirable as like Black women yourselves. As far as talking to the Black women fans of Nicolandria and Jana and Kenny, and you're thinking, so when like a non-Black man finds a dark-skinned Black woman attractive on TV, y'all are like, oh my gosh, like he's just the best, and y'all start praising that man for finding a desirable woman desirable.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, then it becomes this whole thing of like, what we're seeing with Nick is the same thing that we saw with Kenny in the beginning.
Yes.
It's kind of like y'all are treating this man like he's a king or he's royalty for literally finding a woman desirable that is objectively beautiful.
Yes.
Like, that is it. So then it begs the question, do you guys actually find Nicolandria and Jana beautiful?
Yeah.
That is because when you do, don't treat their partner as if they're doing them a service by dating them.
Wow.
And that is another thing. Like, I see people try to argue like they're treating Nick and Kenny well because they're going against like society's expectations. But I don't even think that that's it. Like, I don't think like y'all, that is not as deep. Not as deep. That's not where y'all are coming from. Y'all are literally coming from the fact that y'all felt like these girls weren't going to get anybody simply because of what social media has been telling you. And again, like we said, we're not invalidating that experience. I think that it's insidious that social media and people in general are trying to make it seem like Black women are the least desirable group, because it's just not true.
Yeah.
But it's like you guys have taken that belief and you've internalized it, and now you're projecting it onto two dark-skinned women
Yes.
who are objectively beautiful
Yes.
that are on a love reality TV show. And it's like, because they're beautiful, these men are finding them attractive and finding them beautiful, and you guys are like giving them a high five for giving the black girl a chance.
And I'm sure that like it's not with this intent, but I also kind of feel like if I was in that position, I would feel really uncomfortable because it's you're putting so much pressure on this black woman to kind of find her own worth in her partner. Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
like
yes.
that's also what you're doing, and I'm sure that you guys don't feel like you're doing it that way. But like, what if Nicolandria wakes up tomorrow? She's like, actually, I really don't like white people.
And
Is
in
she
the sense
now
of, like,
gonna lose her crown?
actually really not attracted to white men.
Are y'all gonna take her crown away because y'all are giving it to her because she dares to be in a
Or even worse, dare I say, minus Kenny from this conversation, because Kenny came out to be racist. What if Nick wakes up tomorrow and he says he doesn't want to date Nicolandria? And not because of what she looks like, but in the sense of, say he's just like, you know what, this isn't working, let's break up. That's another thing, because I think about that day and night, because it makes me feel like what you guys don't understand is that you guys are like kind of forcing someone to stay in a relationship with these people. Because then if Nick breaks up with Nicolandria because he simply does not like her anymore and he doesn't want to be in a relationship with her, what's the first thing that y'all are going to say? I knew he didn't actually like dark-skinned women. I knew that he didn't actually love this black woman. We knew it this whole time. Like, if he breaks up with Nicolandria and then goes and dates a white girl, or like a girl that looks like Bella, or the stereotypical insta baddie that's like not black, you guys are gonna be like, she was his type the whole time. I knew he didn't actually.
Y'all
want
are
this
gonna
black
burn
girl.
him at the stake, but also who put this together if not y'all?
Who put this together?
Who put this together?
Now
if not
it's
y'all?
like a push on him to like not only find this woman attractive that he's dating, but also form all of those things around because of the fact that she's black. It's like he can't. Y'all want to see him in interviews giving him compliments and being like, my black Nubian queen, I love her so much.
Let me tell y'all something.
Instead of just saying like things that he actually likes about her personality.
The genuineness like should always win. Performance is never an option. It's
No.
never okay, and it's never. People who are performative never have longevity. Performative things will never have longevity. It will never be sustainable, and it's never going to be real.
No.
You guys are acting like you want her to have a real loving relationship while also handing them a script and say go. Act it out.
Yeah.
That makes no sense. If you guys would allow her to just be her, allow him to be him, allow their lives to flow the way that it's naturally going to flow, then I think we'll be able to see some realness in that
We'll
relationship.
be able to see some realness, but making them the poster children for an interracial relationship is actually questionable.
It's so
and again,
weird.
like I said, it's actually really weird that we're in 2025 and y'all are acting like interracial relationships just became legal. That's like actually so questionable, because I'm like, we see it every day.
We're seeing fetishization right now
Especially
from
with
all
these two
ends.
groups.
Yeah.
White people and black people? Really? We are not seeing in real time two groups of people who don't ever date.
Yeah.
It's not, say, an Indian man with a black woman together.
Yeah, true,
Something
true,
that
true.
we don't see really in movies or on TV shows.
Yeah, it's not very
A lot
depicted
of people
in
don't
the
really
media.
see that. We're not seeing like a Native American woman with an Asian man.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you know, it's like, whoa, this is a match we've never seen before.
Right.
And any other match that you can think of that is
Yeah.
like, this is not the typical match.
Right.
That's not what we're seeing. We're seeing a black woman date a white man.
That's been done 10 times over. And I don't know. It just is tiring and it's exhausting. I thought that when people were talking about this couple, I took a break. I didn't watch the last 4 episodes. I thought when I came back, there must have been some crazy love that has developed.
Yeah.
And y'all are still talking about race. I feel like it's just insane. I thought, oh, some funny conversations must have occurred. Something extremely romantic must have happened. I get back on my phone. It is still about race.
And y'all are talking about not just race. Y'all are talking about him liking her despite her race.
Oh my God, y'all don't know what y'all
It is
doing, but that's what it is.
despicable.
It is. It's very
it is
nasty.
actually despicable.
It's very nasty. Y'all are on some, wow, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. We won. Ooh, if a white man is your pride.
And that's another thing, because like we're not gonna get into it. We're not gonna get into it because like at the end of the day, like I no hate, no shade towards white men. You know, no hate, no shade, but
That's y'all's prize? Is this your kid? Literally.
but I'm saying like
Quite
if
literally.
that is the top of the totem pole for like, wow, you've made it. it's some questionable things brewing in the air.
I think you know what? And like, it's so funny because we keep starting and stopping these conversations because y'all, I'm really, really trying so hard not to say anything like insane.
But also, it's like a white boy from Florida. Who else is he gonna date other than a black girl? It's like, that is the question too. But I'm saying, like, it just makes me, I just don't know where I've been going back and forth between these are people who grew up not around white people. These are people who only grew up around white people and weren't desired. These are people who, I don't know where y'all are located. I genuinely don't.
Identify yourself.
Identify yourselves. I don't know what the story was on your upbringing, but genuinely, now I'm feeling like y'all literally can't be from the South because a white boy from Florida only has one option of woman to date. And I think that, like, come on,
y'all. And
I'm like, y'all, how do y'all not know this?
I'm just saying, y'all, when you step back out to the real world, yeah, it does exist.
That's like saying, like, a white boy from Houston, like, it would actually be more confusing if he had never dated a black girl.
Also, I do want to, like, we do have to, like, close this out really soon, but I do also want to say it is possible that maybe, like, if you already have, like, an internalized bias about something, that you might potentially be seeking out people that fulfill the prophecy that you already have in your head.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this, and y'all are going to, like I said, throw the last stone.
Yeah.
But Pepe, don't think I forgot. It was so many people of all types, but a lot of people of color, that ran for that man as soon as he showed his face on the screen.
Yeah.
Y'all were Pepe this, Pepe that. Everybody wanted to be with this man. I saw a lot of black women. I saw a lot of dark-skinned black women. I saw a lot of brown-skinned black women, all shades of black women that were down bad for Pepe. I thought that was so interesting because in that same breath, you guys were kind of infantilizing this man, for a lack of better words, making it seem like he's so innocent. Pepe is so quiet. He's just, look at him. He's so soft-spoken, so sweet. He was getting all of these labels. I don't know why. I didn't see it. I was just like, okay, we don't even know enough about this man to put all those things. That's all. I'm going to leave that there. Lo and behold, Pepe is on his 5th white girl of the summer. Yeah. And not just 5th. Blonde-haired, blue-eyed.
Like, he didn't say with Iris because she didn't have blue eyes.
He didn't say with Iris also because her roots were showing.
Yeah, because her roots were showing.
She didn't get that dye job quick enough.
He said, let's wrap this up.
He said, let's wrap
also,
this up.
they got back to California and he was looking at her and he was like, you're a little bit too tan.
Right,
He said, you're looking a little brown.
Now that I can see you,
yeah.
He was like, the roots, the eyes, this is not going to work for me.
No.
And so I think it's like, I'm not saying that people cannot have a preference.
Did somebody tell you this was an all-white party?
No, because y'all didn't get the memo.
No, y'all didn't.
Y'all who were still sitting over here trying to act like you put on a wig to get with Pepe, y'all think this is funny.
Do y'all think this is funny? Because he is literally Terry Crews from White Chicks. Like, he's actually not playing with you at all. He's not playing at all.
No, because I'm laughing at how insane y'all look.
No, like, y'all, it's the look and it's the sound of insanity.
No, it's nothing cute. Y'all, I'm sorry. Here is in my eye. There's nothing cute about a man that only likes blonde hair, blue-eyed white women.
It's giving like Aryan race. Like, it's giving like he studied the text.
He studied the text.
He agrees. And that's that stuff that's like,
and I'm like, do y'all not find that bizarre? Y'all are really like, this is why people like Kenny even could get by, because I'm like, y'all are not looking at the things that actually matter.
That actually matter. Like, you're actually not putting your foot down hard enough. Because like we were saying earlier, I just didn't believe Kenny. I didn't think he was a racist, but I just didn't believe him.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I'm not saying that someone should have clocked Kenny's tea. Obviously, he put on a show. I'm not saying that Janae should be shamed for doing that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying maybe if y'all did not reward men for liking black women, we wouldn't be here in the first place.
We wouldn't be if y'all
It's all back to the performance.
But if y'all literally, because it's kind of like, F his personality, we don't even want to know anything about him. It's literally just the fact of, do you like black women or not? And it's kind of like, is this even a good person?
Is he even a genuine guy?
Is he even a genuine? Because that is literally the question. It's kind of like, as soon as they say that they like black women, like for the women, like going back to it, who are commenting, like, do you like black women or not? If they comment back, yes, then what? Now he's invited to the cookout?
Now he's invited to the cookout. Now he's so amazing. Now he's so sweet. He's so kind. He's so genuine.
Yeah,
y'all have known it since before.
Like, oh, I knew that he was down for us. You knew that he was sexually attracted to
down
black
with the
women?
swirl. Like, that's supposed to give him some type of different persona just because he finds a black woman attractive. He has now earned like this idea that you guys actually have created for him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I'm smacking hands down. I'm not giving no reward.
No, I'm not.
I'm not handing
Because
out
my
any
eyebrow
trophy.
is raised towards Nick, and not because I feel like he's going to say something racist, but because I don't think that he's a genuine person. And that's just me. I don't
Fraudulence.
think that he's a good boyfriend. I wouldn't be caught dead dating him.
Fraudulence.
It's just
Fraudulence. It's fraudulent
giving fraud.
behavior.
And it's kind of like, okay, he dates black women. What's next? You want to know why I don't think that that's a crazy thing, or like why I'm not saying like I'm seeing that as the bar, because I think that black women are desirable.
I think that we're
So
very
you telling me that you like black women is not going to make me be like, oh yes, I'm just going to look at you and be like, and
yeah, I think like, and if anything, I think that statement alone, I'm actually kind of looking at you
now I'm
because
looking at you like you're crazy because you thought that it was a good idea to make it clear to me that you like black women by like verbalizing like, oh, and by the way, I like black women.
y'all are letting these men say that and drop the mic.
Yeah. And walk away like that
They be walking
that
away.
audio with this like ladies and they're like,
Yes.
like y'all are literally letting these men get a round of applause for being like, oh, and by the way, I'm into black women.
No, because cut the shit.
People used to be murdered and killed for statements like that. Like, I need people to get back on their bully. I need people to realize that, like, that in itself is like borderline hate crime. I'm actually screaming and running away from you, and I might spray you with some mace as well.
I might. I'm sorry. No, because guys, please don't believe that I don't take this seriously. I'm just saying, like, the craziness of it all is just so, I don't know, it's just mind-blowing to me. There used to be consequences for certain actions.
There used to be consequences.
So people, when they used to say these things, they used to stand on it knowing that their home, when the clock struck 12,
Yeah.
that their home could be vandalized.
Yeah.
So when they said these things, they said it with their chest, knowing what it would take. And in that sense, because there were consequences, they didn't say it if they didn't believe it.
Yeah.
Because there were people who were saying this back in the day. There wasn't an award. You got the opposite of that. So if you sat there and you said that I'm going to be with my black wife, y'all knew, but y'all would have to pack y'all stuff and flee the town the next day.
Yeah.
But that was like real love. Y'all are, flash forward, is 2025. Y'all are giving this man an award for saying that he finds this black woman attractive, as if someone's going to come for him tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, guys, what? Like, it's okay now. You can speak up and you can love who you love. The laws have changed.
Love is love.
Love is love, y'all. The laws have changed.
Love wins.
Love has won. Like I'm saying,
Like genuinely love wins.
love has won. I want y'all to wake up from whatever spell these white men have put y'all under.
Yeah, because
And look,
they put y'all under something.
they put you under. And here's my thing. We'll finish with this. If white men are your tea, that's fine. Literally drink it for real.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, don't ever let any man convince you in this world that you're not desirable, and that by him even picking you, like, you should be so lucky.
Because that's what they're telling you.
That's what they're telling y'all.
How are y'all not seeing it? How is it not clocking to you?
I don't know, but it's
not clocking to
It's
you.
not.
That man is telling you, like, you should be happy that I find you attractive. And y'all are going for it.
Y'all are like, you know what? Yeah.
Y'all are like, yeah, this white man. Like,
don't even get me
he said I'm
started.
his tea. Like, it's enough to make me literally, like, feral. I genuinely can't believe that y'all are going for that.
It's literally like I'm screaming, crying, throwing up, because I'm literally telling you, like, stand up.
Stand up, stand up.
Stand up. And I don't like stand up, even if it's not for you.
Actually, put your foot on a white man's throat.
Firmly place it and keep it there.
Firmly place it.
Keep it there.
Firmly place
Continue
it.
to apply pressure, because it's
Continue
never
to.
going to be enough for somebody to just find you attractive.
No.
It's not even enough for him to open and close your door. It's not enough for him to Pepe style hold your hand and walk you down the stairs.
Yeah.
Because look, that didn't determine that he found black women attractive.
No.
Which leads me back to a statement I said earlier in this conversation. Men who treat women that they are not attracted to decent is a human thing to do.
That's a human
They
thing to
also
do.
don't get an award for
They don't
doing
get
that.
an award just for being nice to a woman that they're not attracted to.
Even though the men who don't do that exist, the men who do it still don't get an award. Do you
They
get what I'm
don't get
saying?
an award.
It's
Men
not,
who don't do that need to be burnt in the stake. I think that that's what people aren't getting.
And the men who treat all women decent, you get to live another night. That's your reward.
Yeah.
You get to
reward
live.
is that we're not going to kill you.
We're not going to kill you. Congrats. You get to keep your life.
You get to keep your life.
That's your reward.
That's the reward.
That's your reward.
Like,
come on, guys. There has to be different standards. There has to be different standards. And so, yeah.
This
felt like a Coke rant.
Not like it literally did, but we had to get that off our chest. We had so much to talk about, guys. I think we're going to do this video different from our other ones in the sense of we're going to put the timestamps.
Right, yeah.
We're going to put the
nice.
timestamps.
Yeah. That would be nice.
So that people can see beforehand. But yeah, that's...
I'm like looking at our list. We've definitely touched on everything.
We had our notes pulled up, guys, and we just had to... Oh, wait, I just saw one bullet point that we didn't talk about. 30 seconds tops. A said they're not real, y'all. And I saw people in the comments. I saw Nicolandria stands in the comments saying that they don't care. So it was never about love. And that's where we'll wrap it up.
And that's what we'll wrap it up.
We'll end it at. Thank you guys for tuning into this episode. I know we haven't posted in so long.
Mm-hmm.
Again, season 2 is coming. It's coming. It's almost there. Please just wait just a little bit longer. We really just want to change some things and have better topics to talk to you guys about. And yeah, we will be back, but we just had to do this short little intermission just to give y'all a little something to snack on.
Right.
Before we fully come back.
Yeah.
And we want to know how you guys feel in the comments. We know this is kind of a controversial topic. Just Love Island in general has become so controversial. But we genuinely want to know what you guys think. And as we repeated multiple times during our last segment, this was no hate, no shade towards dark-skinned Black women. If anything, what we were trying to get through to y'all is that dark-skinned Black women are desirable, and the way that y'all are moving is in a way that makes it seem like y'all don't believe that.
Exactly.
And so,
no hate, no shade towards anyone. Also, if you try to hate on us, we're just going to delete it. So,
and that's that.
Right.
But yeah, we love to hear your opinions. And yes, in our description, don't forget to follow us on TikTok, follow us on Instagram, subscribe, like, comment, and check out my Substack. It'll be in the description.
Yes.
I like to write a little bit.
Right.
I have some juicy articles for you guys.
Right.
So, yeah.
All right, guys. Oh my God. Bye.
What?